Welcome to the Northeast Kingdom Voice. I'm your host, Scott Wheeler. Today we have a star-studded show with Wayne Warner and Todd Pronto. We're here today to talk about a fundraiser for another star, Deveney Shawkat. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Hey, I think it's great that you guys are doing this because, if there's anybody deserving of a fundraiser, it's Deveney. Now, I know, Todd, you've been friends with her for years and former co-worker.
Yeah.
And morning host. So let's just put a little bit of background to Deveney, just in case anybody's forgotten her, which she's hard to forget.
I don't think anybody's forgotten her, though we haven't been on the radio for going on, I don't even remember when that happened, maybe almost 3 years now.
Oh, probably.
Interestingly enough, I met Deveney because she was one of the chairs of the Relay for Life committee.
Right.
And so I'd never known her before. She went to Lake Region. She grew up in the Barton, Glover area. I went to North Country. So I'd never met her, but the Relay for Life, we had started getting involved, the radio station did, right around after my grandfather passed away from cancer. And so they sent her as the spokesperson because they knew before anybody else did that Deveney would be a great community spokesperson. So she came on the show. That was back in the old days of Mood 92, and it was just me on the radio. Mm-hmm. Nobody remembers those days very well. And she came in, and we instantly hit it off. And so we've been friends for probably 12-ish years now.
So you ended up hiring her then?
I ended up hiring her, yeah, and then she just kind of became part of my family in the process. So a lot of people have joked over the years that we're probably married and we're probably a couple, and nobody can really get past that fact that we're not. But I will tell you, we are family.
Yeah, but aren't there some stars that actually do that to make it look like they're single? And
Brad and Angelina Jolie met on the movie set, didn't they? And that didn't work out too hot for them. Right. So I believe we did it the right way by staying friends.
Right.
But we're very close. Like we're definitely like brother and sister. Mm-hmm. Wayne's seen it. Wayne met Deveney, maybe 3-4 years ago?
Oh yeah.
Or more.
Yeah, it seems like it's been a while, and she's Deveney is a friend of the community.
Right.
And you said something, Scott, that she is most deserving of this concert. And she would say that anybody who's been targeted by this terrible disease of cancer is deserving of this kind of exposure. Right. And that's exactly why she is so deserving of it. She has been a voice for the cause for a long time. Deveney has woven a common thread of love and compassion through this community for years. Mm-hmm. Any kind of wherever there was a need in the community, her face was there. She was the face of it, and that's just not what she does. That's who she is.
Right. Yeah, because the two of you were also involved in Hungerfest.
Yeah.
Well, yes, that's right. And Deveney just shows up, and she does it with compassion and with love that's genuine. Right. And
so, for any cause too.
For any cause,
and collecting mittens for people and collecting school supplies before kids went back to school.
And I spoke to Deveney, and I think one of the reasons why that she's so excited about this particular concert that Todd has spearheaded in her honor is because that it can also extend the awareness for the cause that she has been doing for this work of cancer.
Right.
So for her, it's more than just a benefit concert for Deveney. It's something that expands the work that she's been doing for years for the awareness of this terrible disease.
Right. And I'll put a little bit of history onto Deveney too, because I've known. Well, actually, I'm just like Deveney. Deveney walked into your studio, and you ended up hiring her. Somehow, I still can't remember how I ended up at your studio. next thing you know, you hired me. You just forgot to pay me, and I
Yeah,
haven't.
well.
And same thing here, but
I only pay people what they're worth.
Right, that's true. But I've met Deveney.
So how much money does Scott owe you?
Yeah. So I met Deveney, and I've written about Deveney, and Deveney has an interesting story because Deveney was 17 when her mother passed away of breast cancer. So Deveney was still in high school, and that's one of the reasons that this is so important to her. And she was so obsessed with making people understand the importance of preventative screening. I actually went with her to her first mammogram. I didn't go in the door, but I walked in with her. I went to the door. Then another a female friend of mine actually went in, and then they reported back to me. She wanted people to understand that, no woman likes mammograms, but she came out and said, "Oh my God, is that it?" And it was just like, because she knew she had a gene that she knew that she would eventually probably get breast cancer, but she wanted to save other people. She wanted to save other people. So, that's how obsessed she has been to get people to understand, to go through these screenings. And now, when was she diagnosed with cancer herself?
It was, I can't remember the exact date, though I could look it up. It was just a couple months ago.
Yeah, recently.
They really moved very quickly on it.
Well, it was a rapid,
It was in July.
rapid
Was it
spreading.
like? It was like July 27th or something.
Yeah, and
like
it was
that.
an aggressive type of cancer, so it's something that needed to be addressed. I asked a few of the people on my team to do a little research, and I was shocked to learn that almost 4,000 Vermonters a year of our friends and neighbors are diagnosed with cancer every year. And that's a shocking set of stats.
No, it is.
And as Deveney has showed us, the early diagnosis is very key, and almost 1 out of 3 men, are likely to be. That's us, gents. Are likely to be diagnosed with some sort of cancer in their lifetime.
But we're so stupid, though. Men. I'm going to tell you, we're not as wise as women. Really, women are. I believe much more in tuned with their bodies, and I think men. They just kind of like, well, if it isn't broke, let's not try to fix it. But on the other hand, sometimes
Unless it's a car.
That's true.
Yeah.
or a guitar.
Or a guitar. Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
Right.
But no, I really do believe that men, particularly, it might not be broke, but sometimes by the time they find out we're broke, it's too late if we don't get preventative.
That's the whole thing, and that's one of the things that I think Deveney would want us to learn from this event. And I think another one of the reasons why she's excited about this concert that we're doing, because again, it can further that awareness for both men and for women.
I think it creates. I think people like Deveney creates a dialogue. It because you get comfortable with terms that might make you squeamish. It's like beforehand. We were talking. You asked Wayne, all right, have you both had your colonostomies? There was a time when probably it's like the idea of talking colonostomies, but now, I think once you get used to the terms,
right?
I think that's one thing that Deveney has done.
I think when anybody of prominence in an area has something affect them, it definitely, that's just how we are as people. I mean, we turn on the news and we watch stuff that, like, we wouldn't, if you and your wife were getting a divorce, I don't think anybody would care. But if Angelina and Brad are getting a divorce, well, that's the news, and that's sad, but it's also important because in this area, Deveney is the Angelina Jolie of this area.
I bet you she's gonna love hearing that.
I couldn't think of anybody faster than that. But because of the fact,
does that make you the Brad Pitt?
I'm definitely the Brad Pitt.
Okay.
The reason I say that is
that's why I'm the Billy Bob Thornton.
Are you hearing this, folks? What camera are we on?
You,
Okay.
that one.
Are you getting this? So she's the.
the reason I said it is because she's humble.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But it does, it is. It's good that she is able to. It's good that she is taking this and using it for awareness, because that's not an easy thing to do.
Absolutely.
And if anybody in this community could spread the importance of early detection, it's definitely Deveney, because we've been off the radio for about 3 years, and people, they miss us, but they really miss Deveney. And I know that because people come up to me all the time and they say, boy, I miss hearing Deveney. How's Deveney doing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm great.
Right.
But she touched so many people's lives just being real and being a goofball. I mean, she's funny.
Right.
There's no denying that. And even in this, she's still cracking jokes. And I was there with her for her surgery, and right up to the what do they call it? The pre-op people, where they're like giving you the IVs and having you get into, and she's cracking jokes to them. And, these doctors don't normally see that.
And the Facebook threads that day about Deveney were unbelievable. I mean, everybody was in the community. And this community is such an amazing place to live, just because of stuff like that. And, Deveney had Todd and I pinning pink ribbon pins on each other this morning. So we're committed now, Todd and I. We've agreed we can't see anyone else.
I even have this pink bracelet.
I don't have the pink bracelet, but I'm going to have to get one before the show.
I found it. Actually, I was going down to visit Deveney while she was still in the hospital, and I stopped to get a coffee. And they were selling these, so I bought one for me and I bought one for her. And mine says hope, but hers says strength.
This isn't the first time that you've seen what a testimonial can do, because testimonials such as what Deveney's doing, it takes that faceless disease, cancer, that other people get, not you. But then sometimes it's in your face. It's like, hey, this this could be me. But Harold Crow, Harold Crow was a local businessman. Automotive guy. When I first connected with him, I noticed a little notice in the paper, or maybe a letter. It was from him. Don't be stupid like me. Basically, It was like, don't be stupid. I'm dying because he wouldn't get a colonoscopy because he didn't want to do that. And then I ended up doing an article on his mission that was very similar to Deveney's. And I'm going to tell you, Harold saved a lot in his dying. He saved a lot of lives by what he's doing, and Deveney is doing the exact same thing. Deveney isn't just educating people, but she's saving lives.
That's right.
And you're going to see it when Deveney's stronger and when she's better. I think you're going to see a lot of her.
And to expand upon that a little bit, Todd and Deveney both have really merged on that. One of the first. And that's just one of the big reasons I'm such a fan of Todd as a person and as well as his art. And that's why this concert is just gelling so perfectly together. Todd and Deveney have been such a team for this community and so many causes. Right. And I remember the first show that Todd asked me to do. And I remember it well. Todd knows that I don't like to do a lot of concerts or go out and make a lot of appearances. And he asked me to do a show for raising money for a dialysis machine. And I believe Deveney was a part of that or was there. And almost every time that Todd calls me to do a show, it's for something that he and Deveney are involved in for the community. So he and Deveney are such a, they play such key roles in this, and to do it now for this, I was thinking about driving up here. I can't believe that I'm driving up here to talk about this for this cause, for this girl. It blows my mind. Yeah. And Todd, as you referred to a little bit ago, Scott recently lost his mom, to this dreaded disease of cancer, and he took his art. And he's got an amazing tribute, a song coming out. Again, to bring awareness to this cause. So that's what he and Deveney do.
Was that the one you played at the State House when I was there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's coming out in October.
And
Can't wait
you
for
could see
people
the
to hear it.
speaker. You could, people wondered, people wondered what Speaker Smith was sitting there thinking about. Well, I know what he was thinking about. Why you sang your song? It was right when his wife was diagnosed with cancer. So
I believe hers was breast cancer as
right,
well.
and so you could tell that song really touched him.
I actually kind of, oddly enough, sparked kind of a friendship with Shap.
Oh, yeah.
Because the song did move him, and we've kept email dialogue back and forth. He's one of the few people that's heard an early release of that song because he wanted to share it with his wife.
And music can say things that words struggle to do on their own. And I remember watching Deveney before she was even diagnosed, listen to that song and how touched she was. Little did she know, of course, that we would be here today talking about both she and that song in the context of the language that we are today. But I don't know if Todd feels the same way that I do or not. I'm guessing he does. I know that as an artist, we see all around us every day the school bus drivers and the firemen and the police officers and the school teachers and doctors, people who save people like Deveney. And I know that as a recording artist, for me, sometimes our work feels so inadequate. Mm-hmm. So when we get a chance, Todd and I, to do something like this, it just gives it, or for him to write a song, as he did for his mom and for this cause. It's what I've always admired about Todd, is that he's used his gift and his art to give back and to make it matter.
Right, and I think that's important. Yeah, use the tools you have.
Absolutely, and that's what we're doing on October 8th.
All right, yeah, let's talk a little bit here about the concert that's coming up.
That's a thought.
well, Wayne actually, when you said that you were driving up here and you couldn't believe you were coming to do it for this cause, I actually, when I sent the poster out, a couple weeks ago, I'd actually wrote that. I said I've been involved in many benefits in this community over the years, but none have been more important to me personally than this one. But it is a little unreal that we're doing it for Deveney, because usually Deveney's right there and doing whatever the cause is, and Deveney will be there. But I think what else is special about this too is Wayne is also very close with Deveney, so it's actually two of Deveney's close friends doing this for her, which to me is so much better than doing I don't know, a pie baking contest or something.
And it involves a community that she loves so much.
Yeah, and everywhere. I've been walking around with these posters, and I actually will flash it up on the screen right now. And I walk in to visit. I've never, I want to say, put together an event, but I really haven't had to do anything to put this event together. Because I walk in and the businesses say, "Oh, we've been wanting one of those posters," and I had thought about doing a silent auction, and businesses started contacting me with things to do a silent auction before I even actively started looking for one. So this is the only benefit that I've ever organized where people are calling me because they want to donate something.
Right.
It's incredible testament to this community.
So if somebody wants to donate something, can they contact you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where?
Let's do it right here at NEK TV is probably the best way. This also is my day job. I had to punch off the clock for this, so I can't get paid for this. Is that true?
Yeah, let's go with that.
802-334-0264, or my email is director@nektv.com.
And of course, I know you're very active on Facebook.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that other fun stuff.
And this is by donation only.
Yeah, Wayne and I talked about that right at the beginning, and we felt by having a price or even a suggested donation, really kind of keeps people away that might otherwise want to come. Because with this, if you can only come and donate 50 cents, that's fine, because you're there for the support. And if you're in the position to be able to give a little bit more, I think we should mention that Deveney is going to be out of work for about 3 months. So that's a lot of what this benefit is for, is because her life is kind of put on hold right now doesn't mean that the car payments and the rent payments and the hospital bills, she's fortunate enough to have insurance, but you still got to pay out of pocket for some expenses.
She's in for a long recovery, for sure. It's a stressful time, as everybody is who goes through. And I also think it's important to say that all the proceeds are going, to the cause.
Every cent. Yeah.
And so whether anybody can give 50 cents or $50 to come in, this is where it's all going to go. And so that's why we want it to go with donations only.
Yeah, let her worry about her recovery and not about paying her bills.
And this is at the Goodrich
Memorial Library. Yeah, they donated the space. We've done some events there before. What I like about the Goodrich is it's a beautiful room. It sounds good. There's an elevator. It is upstairs. There is an elevator. If you need that, you go around to the back of the building and you buzz. There's a little button. You buzz it, and they'll let you in. I can't remember if they talk to you or if they just unlock the door.
No, it just unlocks.
Yeah, and then you take the elevator right up to the top. It's in this community, which is important to me. It's accessible, and I do think, and Wayne and I have had this discussion, it might be too small, because Deveney is such a big personality and so many people love her, that I would definitely say come early if you're looking for a spot.
And come anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah, don't.
Wayne and I will sing in the parking lot after if we have to.
They're
not coming for us, though.
That's it.
That's really the thing.
Come anyway.
Yeah.
And I've held events there. Needless to say, with my voice, it wasn't for singing. But I have held events there where I have had overflow people, and once I've known that it was going to overflow, we've actually stuck a speaker out in the hallway. And you might want to contemplate that. Get a
great idea.
Get a speaker, because I do think you're going to have it.
They have that separate room too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So
they're all going to want to see Todd and look at Todd, the Brad Pitt of the show.
Yeah, because that's what.
And Angelina will be there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, Wayne, you've traveled the world a lot, and Todd has too in Nashville. Does these things do you think, these events happen like this around the country? It isn't only here, is it?
I am so proud of the artistic community, at least the country music. I've got to work with so many of the artists that you know and hear.
Right.
And again, speaking of common threads, it's just a common thread of compassion and passion and concern, and everyone wants to give back, and I think Todd would probably echo that. There's just there seems to be something among the artistic community that has that deep passion, and I think that's probably what they draw from.
Right. Well, down your, I wrote about Annie Mosier from Irisburg,
yes,
who
I know her,
who performs down there, and her husband is battling cancer, which isn't any secret, and I know her community of musicians in Nashville have just come out in droves.
I think I think more of this goes on than what's recognized, and that's sad, because if you watch the news, on any given day, it looks like the world is blowing up, and the world has always been blowing up in small amounts, but good always outdoes bad.
Sure.
And you just don't see it on the news, and it's unfortunate, but I think people down deep, the large general amount of people are compassionate and do care and want to help.
Yeah, they're good. I tell people, I run into good people wherever I go. Now, I know this show's going to air after the Mark Shelton concert, which is at the Haskell on the 1st, which is, by the time this airs, that's in the past. I suspect that that's going to be a huge event, to raise money for his wife who has cancer.
I believe he announced today that both shows are sold out.
Right.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And again, that's a great testament to our community.
Right.
And where
Yeah.
we live. And
Mark has been, I've done countless benefits with Mark.
Oh, yeah, no, that's
and,
true.
And you wouldn't even, I knew because of just the connection. I think, being that my mother had cancer, there's almost like this secret club that anybody that's a caregiver of somebody with cancer, like we all know. But I don't think anybody would have known that Lisa has been suffering for as long as she has.
27 months.
Yeah,
with lung cancer.
With lung cancer, and she's there with him. And Mark he's an amazing person.
amazing
as well.
talent.
But I'm
Amazing.
glad
Oh
you.
yeah.
I'm glad you brought it up, Todd, because I get so frustrated watching the news. I know this is the day after, as we record, it's the day after the big debate.
Yeah, the
You know,
Monday
I'm
night SmackDown.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, but I just think sometimes the media it just inflames everything. There's so many, wherever I go in this country, I love to travel. I find so many good people in this world, and I just think that the media just jades us to that sometimes.
Unfortunately, sleaze makes headlines. You see that, the National Enquirer and Us and People Magazine.
You mean I have
and
to
the
at least,
media, but it shouldn't. I think
Yeah, but
good should ultimately prevail.
so you mean
And I know that's very hippie of me. But
is that
it's
why I
true.
can't get any media attention? Because I don't have a speeding
You
ticket.
need some controversy.
Yeah, I don't
Scott.
have a speeding
You
ticket.
need to just disrobe and walk out in front of Cumberland Farms after this.
Oh, that's
and
true.
Demand somebody to buy you a coffee or something.
They're going to pay me to put my clothes on. All right, back to Deveney.
We've even got the tech people.
But no, Deveney, you got to admit, she's larger than life.
She is.
But Deveney once told me that really there's a part of her that is not larger than life. It's actually she's very. It's like she's very private in many ways.
Yeah, Wayne and I both know that, Deveney, but not many people do.
Right. And I think that's common among artists in general. I think they internalize a lot. And I think I've definitely seen that in her.
Oh, yeah.
But that's common among almost every artist I know, especially someone in her level of compassion. I think she needs to have some of that to just kind of process all her, all that passion and compassion.
Right. And not to go into the all the healthcare things, but she will tell you this isn't the first. Her mother having cancer, then her having cancer isn't the only health problems that her family have experienced.
That's
They've
right.
been.
No,
She's had.
Not even just her.
Yeah,
in
she's
general.
had her family has had a tough road of it, and I think sometimes that tough road, it can jade you, or it can really turn you into this superhuman being that Deveney is.
Yeah. And she also, I think was instrumental in helping Todd deal with the loss of his mom. And watch that process happen. And that was hard on all of us who know and love Todd, and she helped us all through that. So it's really nice to be able to give back to her in some small way. And I'm really glad that Todd asked me to be a part of this.
Right. Okay, we only have a couple more minutes left. Why don't we end by first of all, again, the date of the concert and when and where.
Okay, October 8th at the Goodrich Memorial Library, which is on Main Street in Newport, 7 p.m. I would get there early I get there early for two reasons. I think the doors will open at 6 because there's going to be a silent auction, and you're going to want to get a seat because I do have a feeling it's going to be very packed. But donation only. There's no cover charge and no suggested donation. It's give what you want, and Deveney is definitely appreciative of it, and I wouldn't be surprised if she thanks you all right there that night, actually.
And again, I stress to please don't, I'm afraid that people are going to fear that it's going to be packed and not come, so it isn't
Right.
packed.
Good point.
So, the point is
Good call.
to please show up.
Yeah.
Again, make an appearance for Deveney's sake if you can. Even if you can't get in, maybe you can come make a donation. And as Todd said, we'll do something. We'll sing in the parking lot. I don't know if we can do an overflow show or something, but please, this is about the community coming together.
And she told me last night, actually, she's very excited to see everybody.
Right.
She told me that. She said I'm nervous for the concert, but I'm excited to see everybody.
Okay, let's end on this note.
So come see her.
15 or 30 minutes, 15 or 30 seconds. Just address Deveney directly and, provide her some good words.
Well, go ahead, Todd.
Oh, I get to go first?
Go ahead.
I didn't really prepare for this. I've been addressing Deveney directly for my whole life, I think. I will say this though, and it does kind of piggyback off of what Wayne said before about her helping me get through some stuff, and that's what we're doing is it's time for us to help you. But Deveney would do anything for anybody, so it's the least that we can do to do everything for her.
I think I would just want to thank you, Deveney, for being you, for being who you are, for bringing out the best in all of us, and bringing out the best in this community, and wishing you well. You got this.
She's got it.
She's got it.
And I'll end by saying, Deveney, our community, our country, we need more people like you who give back without expecting anything in return. And all I got to say now is just, take care of yourself and let people take care of you. Because, sometimes it's hard to let other people take care of you. Well, it's time for the community to take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you guys for coming on the show, and thank you for dedicating your time for Deveney.
Absolutely.
Glad to do it.
Thank you for giving us a vehicle to promote it.
All right. And thank you for tuning in to another segment of the Northeast Kingdom Voice.